spell. But again, it does look like a very solid draft from Boom ID already. They do have ways of playing around all the picks on Adroit. They might be able to really slow that game down.
Yeah, certainly so. Boom ID now. Final ban for them. Still plenty of time for both sides to really think about these as well. The Adroit already got rid of that Leshrac. Which is funny because the Leshrac does feel like it would suit their lineup better anyway. I suppose Boom ID did have the opportunity to pick that up as well with their own. So you're looking at a position 1 here for Adroit that you want to get rid of. They already got rid of that Wraith King Morphling, which is fair enough. Don't want to allow any more kind of push to come out of this side. What else, though, is there really to pick up here for Adroit? Like, you could go for the standard, like, Juggernaut, which is pretty great. Obviously, the Sven was already gone anyway.
They could go back to that Wraith King.
It's
if you're going to go for that early push, you could. Alright. Well,
yeah.
the Jug's really the safest bet here. Unless you're going to run something funky. They ban out the AM, so are we going to be seeing something down mid? Perhaps something like Storm Spirit coming out for Boom? That could be plausible. They could also be going for the Medusa for some reason. I don't know how that matches up against DP. That's not a lane we've seen in a while.
Well, the Storm does feel pretty reasonable. Like, you've got another option for that Iron Shell Inkswell combination as well.
With it's a natural vehicle as well for the Lifestealer.
That's true. No real counters either. Like, you've got the Death Prophet with that inbuilt silence, which is nice, but it's not as easy to land as you would hope. So Boom, gonna have a little bit of a think about it, but no, they'll go for the Razor instead, and I suppose that's pretty nice, right? Up against the DP, she wants to be close for the Spirit Siphon, the Razor wants to be close for the Static Link, so both of them essentially just going to be linking each other up.
They definitely could. It almost feels like they pick up the Razor because they realize there is room for Adroit to kind of draft that in. So it's more like a soft ban. I'm still wondering about that AM ban out, but I guess that's down to the fact that Boom themselves don't really have the best catch capability. They don't have the best stuns. In fact, if you look at it, they don't have a way of stunning at the start, except for the charge. So they kind of don't have that control to keep something like the AM in place.
Well, Adroit. What is the pick for them, I wonder? Again, we already talked about that safe Jug pick if they wanted to go for that. Does work decently up against that Lifestealer as well. The Omni Slash, not so much up against the Razor, but if you get the Omni off before he static links you, you'd probably be pretty happy. Of course, there could be cheese picks, right? You've got a Broodmother. Not great into the Grimstroke, but you could. Of course, there's a Meepo as well. I'm not sure if Adroit plays Meepo very much, but there's that. No counters towards the Meepo either. I doubt we'd see something like that, but
they could also go with, if they want to maximize the Shadow Demon, the Luna.
Oh,
they could go with that.
No. Don't. Stop swearing, John. Wash your mouth out, would you? Disgusting.
We have seen a couple of teams try that. Maybe not in this close qualifier, but we have seen that recently to a very bad result. Yeah, if I recall right.
I'll correct you, John. We saw a couple of losing teams run the Luna, and you are correct in saying it was to some pretty poor results. Adroit, they'll go for the Naga Siren.
So are you happy now, Mike?
That's no, I kind of wish the Luna just came out. The Naga Siren is interesting, to say the least.
But this takes me back, though. This takes me back to a long time, to a year ago, right? We were always seeing the DP, the Naga. It comes back out here again from Adroit this time around. So the Naga does give them a chance to disengage, pull back, try to mitigate their losses and regroup. But Boom ID, again, their lineup just comes online so fast. You can kind of do the same thing with Adroit. You have that Chen, you have that Sand King, you can be aggressive early on. You can really pressure at least one lane quite hard. But the issue is, can you actually stave off the aggression that's going to be coming out from Boom ID. Their lineup really wants to come online early. It wants to come online fast. It wants to close this game out very soon, right before the Naga is online.
Certainly going to be interesting for Boom ID to see whether they can get the job done. I mean, they have the capability. Like, again, with that Spirit Breaker, you can be very aggressive, especially with the combinations they have with that Spirit Breaker, but we'll see. I mean, Natsumi, see how much he can get done on the Naga, how safe he can farm, how much more pressure his team can provide so he can have that free space available to farm up. Of course, the same goes for Fervian as well. He's going to have to get that farm real quick so he can get active with the team. And you got to kind of wonder, does he go for that standard item build of the Midas into the Radiance, or does he go for some kind of like quick armlet build instead? Oh, we'll get into it.
Boom ID with the boom. I guess they've embraced it as a way to boost themselves up.
Why not? You may as well at this point. Everyone's spamming it against you anyway. Especially Ginisbras the other day. Really giving it to the way of Boom ID.
Boomy. Tip back.
Oh, there it is. I've never seen anyone ask for the tip back, but
well, when you're playing against Filipinos, Mike, they'll want that tip back. My teammates always do this. It's like, we tip.
For the record,
just bugs the hell out of me.
For the record, John is Filipino. He's not being racist right now. Just for he's not doing any racial accents or anything like that. He is actually Filipino. So don't get upset with us.
Oh, that kind of feels bad. You have to put that out. It's, you know, it's just like, wow, no one believes.
2019, John. 2019.
Oh man.
Natsumi gonna say hello to JoeCam. JoeCam does have a couple friends around as well, though they won't try to go for anything quite yet. They do have all the skills available apart from the Ink Swirl, but they won't make the dive.
It's a pretty nice D ward coming out from CML as well. He does clear out that mid ward with a nicely placed sentry. So that's a good start already for Adroit, giving them a slight vision advantage, and they still managed to draw even in the rune, so the Chen gets a little bit of a bonus gold start. Just a bit. I mean, he did have to spend for that sentry.
Okay, that's good. Trying to set up already onto Natsumi. Again, charge will be there. Inkswell does get leveled up as well. JoeCam going in with the Iron Shell and the Inkswell. Natsumi's going to cop way too much damage. He does go for the illusions now, but they could just chase him down. Even underneath that T1 tower, he really has nowhere to go. And well, he does still get away just barely for the moment, though JoeCam is not giving up. The tree block will not be successful either, so FBZ will pick up the first blood straight off the bat, and now a charge back into Boomy. He's got a lot of shadow poisons. He actually finds the trade. And with that, Boom will have to back off. Without the Iron Shell spam, you really have no kill potential. And so we're going to have a tri-lane versus tri-lane situation between the two, it seems. And this lane should be a pretty big bloodbath.
It definitely should be, and this is something we don't see too often. Normally we see all these three heroes picked, but you're never seeing that double layering on that Spirit Breaker. But this time around, it looks like Boom ID, they understand this is a really strong opening for them. They understand this is the moment where Adroit's probably one of their weakest points is the first 3 levels, and probably one of the strongest points of Boom is that first 3 levels, so they're going to abuse that very hard. There's not much you can really do as Natsumi here, can't even go in for the last hits.
Swirl again into the charge, perfectly timed. Natsumi couldn't get the illusions off, but there's the disruption from Boomy, FBZ, and JoeCam. Just going to surround Natsumi though, and now the surge up as well. He's going to try and fight back this time around, and well, with those level 1 Iron Shells, it's not really going to be enough, and now JoeCam may be in trouble. He's going to find himself in the tree line behind the T1 tower, and he'll just charge himself back out once again, straight through Natsumi. And it looks like he'll be okay. And while we have a second, let's look into the other lanes. Of course, we do have Makoto. He'll be up against Mac in the mid lane, and it's one of those lanes we have to keep a close eye on, but for the moment, Makoto is just dominating. 14 last hits, 6 denies in comparison to the 5 and 1 of Mac. So not the greatest start for the DP. And of course, at the bot lane, John, we do have Bok up against Fervian. So Sanking versus Lifesteal are pretty much just a equal trading kind of lane. As the levels go up for the Sanking, it will get more and more annoying for Furbian, but I imagine he probably will still be okay.
Yeah, he should still be able to find that farm. If he does get in trouble, yeah, there you go. He has 1 level in Rage up, so he should be able to just farm safely at the edge, but he's probably not going to die unless he missteps against Bach.
Like Boomy getting a lot of stacks off as well. He just stacks 3 camps at once on the Shadow Demon. Where are these supports in my pubs, John? This is what I need.
Oh,
I guess
wouldn't work on you, Mike.
No. I guess it's one of the strengths about the Shadow Demon though, right? Like just being able to stack up like that, like 3 camps at once, just using Shadow Poison. Seems kind of OP, but it's a thing. It's going to be very nice as well.
Definitely would. And it is going to help the cause of Adroit. They aren't finding as much, but setting up for that Naga to go into jungle, of course, that's going to be really important. That is how Natsumi is going to escalate their farm. Again, they're not having the best time in lane. It's not too bad now, but now that he's left alone, because the creep cutting is beginning from Boom. But it's still, you know, after that pretty rough first 2 minutes, you're still going to have to play a bit of catch-up.
CML is actually kind of forcing them back. FBZ is forced to salve up on the Darkseer. Now Mac actually mid lane going to get charged up, though. That's cancelled off. Jocam will kind of show himself to Mac. Meanwhile, top lane, they got a disruption off onto FBZ. He did already commit the charge, so he could be in trouble here, but they don't have the lockdown for him after the disruption. So they'll just keep spamming the Shadow Poison on Boomy. And perhaps one more might be enough. Boomy, he's going to keep chasing for it. He will not find that 6th one, though. He's going to keep diving. He really wants it. Another juke, but it will be enough in the end. Boomy should end up falling, though. No, he salves up, and he will be able to walk out safely as well. It's a very nice play, again, coming out from Adroit.
Yeah, and you also saw Bach. He managed to find the kill on the support, just going around being annoying. They had the dust. They didn't have the damage to kill off Bach, and now he just fully heals up. He has that bottle up. He will try to punish, but man, he's gotten so much from this lane already.
Charge, again, going to be on Mac mid lane. Of course, Makoto will move forward. They are diving in, though. He doesn't have static link for another 3 seconds. It may not matter, but disruption does come out from Boomy, and that's a lot of damage. Burrow strike from the Sand King, and they will find it. Bach just setting up for the side. Oh my. 1-5 now. Boom ID falling behind very early on. And Adroit just seem all over them right now.
Now, this is the one thing you can't afford to do is Boom. Your lineup comes online pretty fast. You don't want to be bleeding the space to Adroit. This allows them to have something to stall out into that mid game too. So Natsumi, if they do still keep finding this space, eventually Natsumi should be able to farm safely in the jungle. Mainly because Boom would be caught up facing the aggression from the other cores. And that does look to be what's, you know, being built up here by Adroit. They're getting all these stacks up. It should be a good time for Natsumi once these get cleared out. And you're not having enough space as Boom to contest these objectives just yet, if you're going to bleed more space like this.
Might want to have a go at Bach. They do place a Sentry Ward down, though. He looks like he might be aware of this. In fact, no. Charge comes in. Now the dust as well, though. Nice Burrow strike away, but it looks like they should be able to find his Sand King. Iron Shell is there on Jocam just in case anyway, and yeah, they'll find him. Furbian does pick it up. Meanwhile, mid lane though, disruption is there onto Makoto. Nice stun from CML as well though. Is it enough? Makoto falling pretty darn low. Should go down though. Mac, Crypt Swarm will not reach him. Mac will still actually end up finding him in the end, apparently, just with the Exorcism. And now Kescue probably going to go down as well, and does. Jocam trying to fight just by himself up against Mac, though. Spirit Siphon will be available in just a second, and he will commit it. And now, how do you kill this man? The answer is you really don't. And Jocam going to have to run away because CML is chasing with his Centaur. It looks like the DP will TP out back towards his shrine in his own jungle as well. And the only positive there for Boom ID is they don't lose their tier 1 tower and they don't really cop too much damage on either. But man, they're dropping a lot of bodies here.
They definitely are. You're not having that good start you want on the hero like Razor. In fact, Makoto is really just not finding too much farm. He's not doing too bad, but it's still not where you want to be. Definitely gonna have to be, you know, finding some more space to get himself those early items so he can apply that pressure he wants to do. But again, Adroit is keeping all these big heroes in check. They're buying Natsumi a lot of space to farm up now. He's gonna be going around clearing these camps out. And that Nagasiren is set to have a pretty decent progression into the mid-game.
Maybe overextending a bit, but CML again with the great micro on the Centaurs will stop Jokam from continuing the chase. So Adroit will continue to have the lead going into this game. Bok, though, falling pretty low to Fervian, but we'll walk out of that Sentry Ward range and we'll be alright. Of course, while all this is happening, Natsumi is finding some decent farm on the Nagasiren, and that's only going to escalate as time goes on. Boom ID haven't really made any kind of moves to try and stop the Naga yet. Apart from that first kill we saw in the lane, but that was straight off the bat. So Natsumi just going to keep rotating around the jungle with those illusions, just keep getting the work done. And mind you, Fervian is still farming very, very well on the lifesteal, though. He's at 4.4k net worth now. But, again, Natsumi is creeping his way back up, and overall, once he's kind of online on this Nagasiren, he's just going to farm a hell of a lot faster. In fact, he's going to try and stack all these camps once again. He doesn't quite get it, but nevertheless, there's still a lot of gold to be farmed up for this man.
Definitely so, and again, he is pretty much uncontested now. You aren't seeing Boom ID really venture into those jungles. Rather, they're trying to find more farm, come out in their heroes. They are putting a lot on the back of Fervian, who is still #1 in that fort. Although, again, he is being caught up by that Nagasiren now. He does have his Midas, so he's going to be escalating from there, probably building up into... I don't know. You can still go for the armlet, but for the most part, we do see a lot of these lifestealers go for that Radiance.
See if it does pay off for him this time. And Boomy top lane. Looks like he'll be caught out on the Shadow Demon, so he'll go down. FBZ, a nice pick up there for him. Now Boom might even go after CML, though no, they are charging somewhere else. Makoto ended up finding Mac. It looks like that's exactly where they were charging anyway. And with that, they start pressuring that mid T1 tower now. Of course, it wasn't just Makoto. Kescute was there as well on the Grimstroke. Meanwhile, Fervian will go steal some batteries off Bok on the Sand King. And we'll walk back into the lane as well. Mid lane, got a disruption off. Now going to find Kescute though. And Snare will be there. Mud Golem does have a stun available as well. It won't even be necessary. Boomy will find the kill on the Shadow Demon. Now charge in Jokam. We'll cancel it off. They have Exorcism available if they want to try and pressure that T1 mid again, and if that is exactly what they'll try and do with this Siege Creep. Boom. Not planning to let it go down though. Mac cops a lot of damage from that Plasma Field, but Makoto may have stuck around way too long. Disruption will be there, and now the Soulbind comes out into the charge of Jokam, but the Burrow Strike is there from Bok. Hold on a minute though. Mac does end up going down regardless. Jokam does end up finding him. They did get Makoto on the Razor, but that's going to slow down that push quite a bit. Without that Exorcism, I suppose Adroit may still find it though. Don't know. Fervian, he'll TP in. Hand of God will be there. Not sure.
Trying to heal up that siege creep, but Fervian was there. He infested it. He killed it instantly. So a bit of a waste, but it doesn't look like Adroit is playing outside of their DP anyway. Like, they're only forcing fights out when that exorcism's up, when they can perhaps position near a tower, but beyond that, they have been playing kind of conservatively.
Gonna move in. Burrow Strike is there from Bok though, but now they just may jump on him, but the triple silence from Mac will slow them down from going for anything. And now the charge. Jokam gonna move in with his Iron Shell. Wall to drop as well. Where's the Vac? Not quite there yet. In fact, he hasn't even skilled 1 point in Vacuum at the moment, but they will end up not getting the T1 tower. CML does end up getting the deny off on the T1. On the positive, it does go down, so Boom find a nice little bit of real estate to take, but still, you would have loved that gold if you were on their side.
Definitely would have. Again, that helps you a bit more. Your lineup really does shoot online At this point in the game, this is when Adroit does slow down a bit, unless they have Exorcism. Otherwise, they'll just let Natsumi farm up, and he is farming up quite well. Second net worth, just around 700 behind that Lifestealer, and again, he's just going to escalate more and more as the levels come in, as the items come in. He still has a gigantic Ancient stack to take care of at some point. So he's still finding what he wants, and Boom ID, they haven't really checked on that Naga Siren at all.
CML gonna find Fervian though. They will purge him up. It looks like they will just leave him be though. They're just gonna claim that bot T1 tower and they'll be happy with that. Like you said though, Natsumi is still just doing whatever he wants in the jungle. He's only 100 gold behind of the Lifestealer at this point, and he's gonna have that mad drop very soon. Now that's gonna be a lot of illusions coming out, especially if you consider the disruption illusions. And at some stage in the game, like Adroit, they're just going to be able to throw all those illusions up to the high ground and just take towers that way. Like, that's all they're going to need to do.
Yeah, definitely so. Not only that, but remember, the damage coming out from a Naga Siren in tight areas like that high ground on clumped up heroes, it's nothing to scoff at. It is so much work as the game goes on, especially as those illusions pile on, and they will pile on with a Shadow Demon on your side. It's just going to be more and more illusions every single time.
Haven't really seen the greatest influence either from this Razor yet. He's currently only 1-3-1. MLPDotA just trying to get that farm up desperately. Of course, Fervian is still trying to go for that Radiance as well, so he's just focusing on that. Boom really don't seem concerned going into the late game up against that DP Naga Siren. I wonder, I mean, we're going to find out eventually if they're correct in not being worried, but it just doesn't seem to make too much sense. Not to us anyway. And the Manta will come out now on Natsumi. Force Staff is also there on Boomy on the Shadow Demon now. Natsumi has officially taken over the net worth board as well.
Yeah, it's just that point where the Naga Siren is just going to escalate more and more. The Lifestealer doesn't farm as fast, even with that Midas. You know, he's just not a flash farming hero.
They do find the Darkseid FBZ. He does go down. Jokam now, got to be careful trying to get the hell out of there. Bok does have a Blink Dagger on the way on the Courier. He doesn't have it quite yet though, and he might just have to leave that Spirit Breaker alone. But no, he actually predicted the charge coming out. Jokam! Oh. What a prediction coming out from Bok. He was just waiting for it, and now Jokam probably going to end up going down. He'll try to make a run for it. There is some Crypt Swarms coming out, and that'll be it. Mac will find it. I'm not sure if he actually predicted that or whether he was just going to farm the wave.
I think he was just going to farm. I think they gave up on that, and then Jokam charges that way. And he's like, okay, Burrow Strike time. And he gets that kill. That's unfortunate for Boom ID, but that does open up the tower for Adroit to take again. They're playing around that timing for Mac. It has been on point for the most part.
Top lane being pushed in, the Exorcism. Something you really don't want to fight into unless it's, until it's over, though. MLPDotA will threaten with the Plasma Field, and now the charge coming in. They'll drop the wall as well, though. Mac still looking pretty darn healthy. Epicenter coming in. Bok, he goes straight after that Razor, though. He got the Darkseer instead. And well, they're going to burst down FBZ straight off the bat, and now Jokam needs to get out. Song does come out, though, from Natsumi, and he just traps 3 of them in there. Now they're lined up. Bok, the easiest Burrow Strike of his life, and with that, they're going to lose another Inkexecute. MLPDotA probably not going to survive the damage, although no, he does outrun them for now. Jokam does get caught out on the Spirit Breaker, so Natsumi, he'll clean him up, and meanwhile, they do end up finding MLPDotA in the end. The Purge was there from Boomy, and that's going to be a 4-man wipe. Of course, Fervian was the only one who survived, and he didn't even bother TPing down. He's still trying to farm up that Radiance.
Yeah, this is not great for Boom. Again, they wanted to really capture that mid-game, especially with a Razor. And the Lifestealer, it's just, they've lost ground. They've lost a lot of ground. Adroit has been maximizing that DP pick. They've played around that cooldown on the Exorcism nearly perfectly. They've gotten a lot of farm up on Natsumi now as well. And it just hasn't been contested by Boom. That's the key thing here. They've ignored this Naga Siren for so long that Natsumi is just a major threat at 17 minutes in.
Well, at the very least, Fervian's going to have that Radiance soon. Should be like maybe another 30 seconds from now. Mid lane. Mac, one static link. Nice stroke of fate coming out as well, but I don't think Boom actually has really the kill potential here in the mid lane. They are protecting this tier 1 tower, though it only has 14 HP. No deny coming out yet, although I'm sure Kescu will take care of it. Meanwhile, Natsumi finds a double damage rune now, so that's going to make matters a hell of a lot worse for the side of Boom. They will go ahead and deny now. They will not risk giving away any more gold to this Dire's side. They're already 5k ahead. Looks like the Burrow Strike miss on Kescu, and now the charge will come in. They're going to try and find at least Bok on the Sand King, and now War being dropped as well, but there's a Soulbind. Boomy trapped up, nice back into the wall. Bok, he's in trouble, he missed another stun. Hand of God was pretty decent. Jokam about to fall as well. Fervian copying so much damage from that exorcism. They ensnare him up. The Song is going to line him up once again, and now the Burrow Strike from Bok will set up onto Fervian. Now FBZ as well. Can he find anything with Makoto? Probably not. They'll be forced to back off. Adroit will do the exact same, though they're going to be much happier finding that lifestealer, and well, in fact they found 3 if you count the buyback on Jokam on that Grimstroke. So a 3-for-1 trade for them. I just don't think you can complain if you are the Dire side right now.
You definitely can't. That was every single thing you could ask for there. You managed to win out in that team fight. And again, they're playing so aggressively around the timing of that exorcism from Mac. It's just very nice to see coming out from Team Adroit. We rarely see this from a lot of teams. There's usually some downtime when that exorcism's up, where they're just farming up, regrouping. But Adroit in the past few minutes have always been on point. Every time, exorcism's up, form up as 5, push a lane out, get that team fight on. And the nice thing about that is the cooldown of exorcism kind of lines up with the cooldown of the Song. So you'll have those two tools available. Natsumi just pops the Song in the middle of the team fight, always offensively. And they just line it up for Bok to get the doubled stun every single time.
Yeah, this is some great Nagasaran play, John. Some of the best we've seen for a long time, that's for sure. And Fervian now going to the Dire jungle to try and farm up, although no, 20-minute boundary runes will come up. A Bok's already found one. Looks like the side of Adroit should be able to claim 3 boundary runes for themselves. Boom should only be able to get 1. Though nobody's gone to pick up that bot boundary rune quite yet. I imagine they've probably left it for Mac with the bottle. And so it was 6-18.
Yeah,
sorry, John?
6-18, 6k lead for Adroit, and Mac finds himself an Arcane Rune as well. So the moment that Exorcism's up, just eat that, use that Arcane up, and then pop the Exorcism. Lower cooldown. Gonna be really nice for Adroit. And again, they are setting up. It's 15 seconds, they've grouped up. The only person not there is Natsumi this time around, but he gets called in. So there, again, on point for the aggression. Cooldown gonna be off in 5. And then you have to respond as Boom ID.
They are playing this perfectly, the side of Adroit. Well, they'll start moving into that tier 2. Mac not popping the exorcism quite yet, though Makoto does show up now, and perhaps that'll be the signal.
Oh,
meanwhile, Bok, he's getting gone on by Jokam right now, though Jokam could be in trouble himself, though CML drops pretty darn low, will be able to walk away and does commit Hand of God, and Bok, Epicenter wasn't great. Mac's now in trouble on the DP. Looks like he will end up going down. No Song being committed quite yet. And now Natsumi commits it. Goes to the TP play, and will make it out. Unfortunately, though, he did wait for Mac to die before he did use it. And that will cost Adroit quite a bit.
Yeah, that was clumsy from Adroit, but really good from Boom. Boom had Jokam charging in. Half of Adroit was focusing on taking that Spirit Breaker on, whereas the other half was still pushing that tower, and the TPs were coming in. It was a split-up fight. This is what Boom ID need to do every single time to catch Adroit off. Force their heroes to focus on different heroes, and take control from there. They cannot protect every single one, and this time around they lose out on that exorcism on Mac. So it's a bit of a big loss for Adroit. A good opening for Boom, and they should be able to secure themselves at least one tier 1.
They will go for it. Adroit not looking to allow it to go down like this for free. And so they will go for at least the deny attempt. In fact, they're looking to try and look for somebody. They found the Razor Makoto. They'll leave the illusions to try and take him on. With that, 22 minutes in, John. 6k net worth lead remains for Adroit. This Lifestealer still farming up pretty decently. Looks like he's going into a Manta style next. And you have seen Natsumi's farm start to slow down a bit on the Naga Siren because he has been aggressive with his team. It looks like he will go back and start farming up once again. He's getting decently close to picking up an Eye of Skadi now on the Naga. So once that's up, he's going to be a lot tankier. And he's going to go into a Butterfly straight after that. And that's pretty much the point for the Naga where she starts to become pretty uncontrollable.
Yeah, it definitely does reach that point, right? We are slowly seeing Adroit hit that late game, which really is where the Naga Siren shines. And again, Boom ID, they still have signs of life, but they're playing into this timing. But can they contest it quite well? I mean, there are points where the Lifestealer does bounce back up. That's when he gets his 25 with a Rage duration. But until then, it does feel like they are going to be playing a bit of a hard game up against a Naga who does have that farm that they require to be effective.
Mid lane, Mac, he does have the Aghanim Scepter now up on the DP. It's going to make things a lot more annoying for Boom ID, and Jokam charging into Boomy. We'll get Yule's up, and now Mac thinks about turning around, but they opt to leave it. Oh, Fervian desperately just trying to farm up on that Lifestealer once again. Still though, 3k net worth lead behind the Naga. I guess he's just got to get to a point where he's feeling comfortable with his farm to really join his team. Though, at what point do you think it's the correct time for Fervian to actually start saying, let's group up as 5 and go?
I'd say, perhaps once you reach 35 minutes without any action, you've given a lot of space to Adroit to farm up. I'd say before then. So maybe after this Manta style, you're going to be a bit more comfy. You're not going to be kited around by the ensnares, at the very least, or the silence. You can kind of dodge one of the two as the Lifestealer and then pop your Rage, get your damage in the middle of that team fight. So that's probably just the big thing they're waiting for. Just that Manta style up, so you have a way of Fervian to at least purge off any sort of control, and then have him really run up and do the damage he needs to do.
Bot could be in a bit of danger. He does have quite a few heroes around him, but he will get called in by the Chen, so CML is going to bring his mate over. And bot lane, Fervian. I guess he's set up for the defense now, but the rest of his team isn't really there. And again, as soon as that Exorcism is back up and available, they just move straight back down to that bot lane. They're just not discouraged at all by that last engagement they had at this spot. Boom ID are making their way down as well. It's going to be too late. The T2 is going to go, but here comes Jokam. He charges in with the Ink Swell. Now the wall to drop as well. CML falling pretty low to Makoto, who's stolen a lot of damage, but Makoto copying way too much damage from Natsumi. It will be a 1-for-1 trade, but it's not going to be the trade they wanted. Meanwhile, now they found the Grimstroke as well. He'll end up dropping pretty fast to Natsumi. Meanwhile, Jokam as well goes down. Fervian is going to chase and find Boomy on the Shadow Demon, but that's all he's going to find. He'll infest into the Siege Creep. Looks like FBZ may get caught out as well. He gets used up by Mac. There's the Burrow Strike coming out as well, and he's gone. A 4-man wipe. It could be 5 if Fervian pops out anytime soon. They're just waiting for that Siege Creep to drop low enough. What an awkward position for Fervian. Still, they do have all buybacks available, so they may have to leave Fervian to go. And yeah, he just rages and gets the hell out of there.
It's still a fight that you are happy about as Adroit. You managed to force out one buyback on that Grimstroke. You take out that tier 2, you kill a lot of heroes. And again, you are showing just how strong you get at this point in the game. To Boom ID, they just can't keep up. Mikoto, he can get a lot of damage out. But if you're not taking care of that Naga Siren, if you're not linking the Naga Siren, Natsumi will burn you down with that Diffusal, with that Eye of Skadi up, and he is going into that Butterfly next. So all the items that the Naga Siren needs to be terrifying are coming out. And again, you're reaching that point where Boom ID's draft is tapering off. They just can't keep up. They don't scale as well. There are certain items you can pick up to get back into the game, and I believe Mikoto is finishing up his SNY, that's one, but it's not quite enough. The Lifestealer is working towards that Assault Curious. That's going to be a massive help to mitigate that physical damage coming out from the Naga. But, he's still being controlled up, and even in that Rage, he still takes too much damage. It's just a bit too much at this point. They have to be able to split Adroit up like they did last time.
Boomy. Let's get charged, but they'll cancel it off. Get charged down to the bot lane where Bok will show up on the Sand King, and Makoto's already waiting for that charge. Slows him down with the Plasma Field, and here comes Jokam. He doesn't have the Burrow Strike available right now. The Nether Strike, they will find him. Nice little pick up there, and a bit of an extension coming up from Bok. Using that Burrow Strike too early on and just being way too deep.
Yeah, and he gets punished for it, fortunately enough. I mean, Boom ID at this point need every single kill they can get to try to escalate on their side. So finding these single pickoffs is the best way to go about it, and you do have to be careful as Adroit. You can throw this lead away. It's not like Boom ID is entirely out of the game. You have to really respect the power that these heroes still have, and you can't afford to really stray away too far.
Looks like he'll be going into an AC next on the Lifestealer. It is going to help. I mean, that bonus armor going to be decent against Natsumi, but that Riptide damage still not going to be affected by that whatsoever. And speaking of Natsumi, he's very close to picking up that full butterfly now. Just needs the quarterstaff. It's just a question of how do you take this man out?
You're running out of options here. You don't really have any sort of magic damage to eat through him. You don't have the best wave clear as well. You don't have the best AoE spells to clear out the illusions. I guess the best you have is really that Plasma Field from the Razor. Although at some point the damage is kind of small, especially with the HP pool you would have in the Naga. And the next best thing is that Stroke of Fate.
They're going to run straight into the side of Adroit just for that banner in there. They pop the Rage on Fervian. Can they find him in time? There'll be a charge going out from Jokam as well. They're all just trying to get out of there. Adroit doesn't catch anyone out. So they'll hang around the Roshan pit for now. More Naga illusions to come out, and of course you can scout up the high ground with those. So you will see a lot of the side of Boom ID just sitting there farming. Can't forget as well, Adroit just picked up a 10-second BKB on Mac on that DP, so you definitely want to fight right now if you are the side of Adroit. Makoto gonna run in, but Burrow Strike straight away, and he just melts. Now FBZ gonna get caught out. Another great song lining them up. He'll just cancel it off. Wall drop is there, but what does it matter? Echo Slam even being thrown out by Bok, but it's unnecessary. Now Jokam comes in with Fervian. Hand of God will keep Booming alive for the moment, and Jokam gonna drop so darn quick. And Fervian gets purged up. He's so darn slow. The Burrow Strike's there, and John, he just melts. I mean, it just looks like a no contest right now.
They just can't do anything. Again, when Adroit gets that initiation they want when they're not split up, there is no response. There just isn't.
With that, mid lane goes down. They'll go for the tier 3s. Makoto, he can't afford to die. That's going to be a dieback though. Soulbind comes out. Fervian jumps in as well. This could be their final team fight. They get a nice charge. Boomy's gone. Can you get Mac and the Naga though? Natsumi, they're the real problem. Natsumi will actually just TP out of there safely. Mac will BKB TP as well. Does use his 10-second BKB charge for that TP though. But still, you force out so many buybacks from Boom ID for that high ground defense. And even after those buybacks, even after that defense, you kind of wonder, for the side of Adroit, how do you try and win this game now? Because you still can't kill the Naga Siren. They're going to go after the Roshan. Trying to take at least the Aegis away from Adroit. But Adroit are aware this is happening. They're moving in. They do have the song available as well to set up. And Boom won't be able to take that in time either. Like, it just doesn't go down. Now Mac found the Eels onto Makoto, but he just hastes up and runs. They smoked up though. Boom. This could be a big moment for them. They don't have Bok available on the side of Adroit right now, and he doesn't have buyback. They scan him out as well. Naga Illusions, actually, Natsumi just trying to sneak the Roshan while all this is happening. Jokam just going to run away. I'm not sure where he's headed to. He's gone down to the bot lane. Roshan is still going down while all this is happening. Jokam joins Fervian. I guess he's going to infest and charge, although no, Fervian just TPs. So Jokam's going to just run his way back up now, and Roshan's gone.
Yeah, that's some nice sneaky play from Adroit. I'm not sure what Boom ID was expecting. Like, they were trying to take the Roshan themselves. They didn't have vision around, and the moment they abandoned it, that was a big opening for Adroit to find that objective. They don't manage to contest, and that's going to cost them big. They're going to have to try to kill off this Naga Siren twice.
See if they can do it. Exorcism is up and ready to go once again, and they'll get started on the side of Adroit. There's the Exorcism coming out as well. We'll bring up that buyback status, and there's not much left. In fact, there's none left on Boom ID right now, so if they lose the 5-man, it's pretty much over. Adroit, backdoor protection. Natsumi just goes through it. Creep wave will be here. They'll fortify, but do Adroit back off? It looks like they will opt to just play the safe route and just go back and maybe take a shrine or two. I guess there's no real rush here for Adroit anyway. Like, with this draft, you're just always going to be ahead.
Yeah, again, we've reached that point where Adroit's Naga Siren is just online. There is no other hero that scales as well as this in the game. Especially for Boom ID, none of these heroes scale as well as that Naga Siren. I mean, you could say the Razor is going to be relevant, stealing the damage from the illusions every single time. It doesn't feel like he offers too much. Like, he's going to have to BKB right-click, but his armor's not high enough. He can't focus out every single Naga illusion. And he most certainly won't be able to find a real Naga now that the heart is going to be coming out fairly soon. I mean, it looks like Natsumi is saving for buyback at the very least, but the heart is going to be up in just a bit. He almost has the... I think that's all gold, actually. Yeah, he buys out the heart. So that heart's going to be up. How do you actually kill the Naga?
Who knows? FBZ will just guiding Greaves himself out of the ensnare down the bot lane, but they're just going to keep pushing in. They don't have Exorcism for another 50 seconds, but Mac has another Arcane Rune in a bottle. So once he does have it up, it's going to be a very short cooldown on that. And they'll just continue this aggression now. Nice silence coming out from Mac. And how do you jump in on Natsumi? We'll slow him up, but he just mantas. That'll be the second tier 3 going down for the game for Boom ID. Mac again just jumps in for a silence. He'll have Exorcism in about 10 seconds or so. They do ensnare up Fervian. He drops so darn low so quickly that now Natsumi needs to get out. He does have the Aegis anyway though. More Shadow Demon Illusions to throw in. And just slowly chip away. Now Exorcism. Mac jumps in with the silence. They re-static link up. Makoto trying to go after the DP. Meanwhile, Natsumi, all his damage is being soaked away, but he just songs up. Makoto with the BKB, though, going to keep going. In fact, no, he wants to get the hell out of there. Now he's been songed up as well. Fervian needs to get out. A Burrow Strike, a lot of lag coming out as well, but the epicenter, it's pretty darn massive. The wall was dropped, but it does nothing, and Fervian lost his life. Now the Spirit Siphon will be there onto FBZ. He goes down as well, and Fervian's already calling GG, but that is in his own chat. That is pretty much GG though, right? He doesn't have buyback available, and unless Adroit just back off.
No, they're not. They have the heart up in Natsumi. He's healing up. They're going back in.
Boom ID, they're going to keep trying. Sitting in the fountain right now, just trying to wonder how to get back into this. Charge, Jokam, gonna go up to Natsumi. Inkswell will be there and does nothing. Kodo gonna jump in as well as the Razor, but Mac will just Spirit Siphon him back, and now the BKB comes out, but what good is it? You will have Joe Camp charge in, but he's just sitting duck now. Mega Creeps are there as well. They'll go after the Razor. Natsumi just moving forward, copying literally no damage at all. They're just throwing everything they can at him. Now the tier 4 towers. And there's the GG core coming out. I mean, it took a while, and I respect the fact that they wanted to keep trying. Definitely should have, but Natsumi, I mean, he just got left alone to farm the whole game, and that's never a smart idea when you're up against a Naga Siren.
It never is, and Adroit did manage to find that space they wanted. They managed to get that momentum they wanted from very early on. We expected a bit more aggression from Boom. They did show signs of that. They just didn't maintain it, and that was the key thing. You got all the space you wanted in Fervian, sure. He does not flash farm like a Naga Siren, and in the end, the Naga just wins out that farm race.
It certainly does. With that, John, I believe that is going to be it for us tonight, but I will confirm just in case. Nevertheless, in fact, give me 1 second. Let me confirm. Do you want to just tell the viewers how the standings are going now with that loss for Boom ID?
So with that loss, I believe, and if I am right, that does put Adroit up to 4th place, although there is still... No, I believe that brings them up to 3rd place with a result. 4th place is still tied up between 496, Mineski, and I believe, 496 and Mineski. So that one win does propel Adroit to the top 4 for now. It does remain to be seen how that 4th place will go. There are still ways for that to tie up. I think there are how many games left? Two games left. I mean, 3 games left, but 2 series. And yeah, I think it does look like there isn't any real way to tie up with Adroit right now. I mean, you could get a tie with 496, and that would be it. Like, that would basically be it. Nothing else to really do.
All right, well, John, I have confirmation. We are going to the next series. So 496 versus Amplify. Yeah, awesome. More Dota. Absolutely fantastic. 496 Gaming versus Amplify will be coming up next. John, we'll be right back. We do have to go to a standby screen while we wait, but it won't be too long for that next series, guys. It is MLPDotA and JohnXFire. We'll see you very, very soon.